Evening all. My name's AJ Mason, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how the future is closer than you think. Just last week, this was the Harvard Business Review's lead article. Why business leaders need to read more science fiction. So why do they? And why, in fact, should we all be reading more science fiction? Basically, it's because yesterday's science fiction is today's science fact. A good illustration that we're all well aware of is the telephone. 33 years ago, in 1984, the first cell phones came out. They cost 10 grand US. They took 10 hours to charge, and they could be used for 30 minutes on a full charge. You could use them to talk, block drafts, and as ballast in shipping. But that was about it. Meanwhile, reruns of Star Trek are showing something a lot more recognisable. Today, even that science fiction has been overtaken by our science fact. We're on the brink of another science fact transition. It'll make mobile phones look trivial, and it'll offer us a level of luxury and convenience even Captain Kirk could be jealous of. It's called Transport as a Service, or TaaS. TaaS is a new way of getting around. It's autonomous, it drives itself, it's electric, it's cheaper to run, and it's better for the environment. Only hobbyists will own private vehicles, so it's pooled, and it's networked. Every vehicle will talk to every other vehicle on the roads and to the roads themselves. This guy, while talking to all his mates, will drive you to wherever you're going. The time and freedom we lose to transport every day, we can take it back. In the Mercedes view of the future, we'll use that time to video conference, presumably on where all the best places are to buy grey clothes. The non-German version might be reading, looking out the window, or even sleeping. Our traffic congestion is caused by our limitations. We own big cars, so we drive them, even when we are travelling by ourselves. We wallow in huge clearances around our vehicles needed because of our lousy reaction times. We see here the stop the distance required between cars is 50% because of our reaction times and nothing to do with braking whatsoever. Transport as a Service doesn't require this. Our existing roads will be able to move far more people, and also more safely. Of the 185 people killed on our roads this year, 172 were due to human error. Autonomous vehicles don't get drunk or high, don't fall asleep at the wheel, don't get distracted, and they don't stop in the middle of the road to take photos. In fact, we save money across the board as individuals, as a town, and as a country. At any given time, approximately 96% of vehicles are not doing the thing they're designed to do, move around, providing transport. This means the vast majority of money we spend on buying vehicles is simply wasted. No one needs another whinge about the price of fuel. It costs us personally, and its importation costs our economy nationally. There's also maintenance costs, insurance costs, and finance costs. Transport as a Service reduces all of these by between 80 and 90%. $2 bus fares are going to be great, but wait till you try 50-cent taxi rides. And look at this mess. You can just about see, hidden behind all that signage and road marking, what might have been a picturesque street. TaaS doesn't need any of that. Doesn't need any signs, doesn't need any road markings, doesn't need any traffic lights, doesn't need any speed limits. We don't have to mess with cluttering up our streets, and we don't have to pay to maintain them. And because every trip becomes a drop and go, no one will need to pay for parking anywhere, ever. That applies to both ends of our trips to town, not just to parking meters, but also the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars it costs to build a garage at your house. This will have obvious implications for council and developers as they contemplate the cost of providing parking. There simply won't be any. This has been called the ultimate selfie. It's a farewell photo from our Voyager probe from the very edge of our solar system. And the dot, which you might just be able to see, is Earth. Everyone who ever lived and died did so on this dot. Every artwork created, every song sung, every pizza eaten, it all happened on that dot. And that dot is all we have to work with. All of our resources for everything, including transport manufacture, have to come through this dot. With TaaS, all of our transport needs will be met, but we'll only need about 20% of the number of vehicles to do it. The other 80% of the hundreds of thousands of tonnes of steel, plastic, aluminium, whatever, consumed by car manufacturing, won't be. You want to know a dirty secret? We like to think that dairy is New Zealand's bad guy for the environment, but tourism is no poster child. Our town's leading industry depends on people bringing us their credit cards from all over the world and burning fossil fuels to do it. Adopting TaaS will go a fair way towards balancing that out. Climate change contributions from road transport, locally and nationally, will fall by over 90%. Great sci-fi for someone else, right? Actually, no, this is for us, now. A few months ago, researchers from Cambridge and Cambridge concluded that 95% of all transport will be TASC by 2030, just 13 years from now. Our 30-year vision needs to realise this is science fact, not science fiction. This is New York City and Queenstown. We tell people we're a green adventure land, while New York's supposed to be an overcrowded concrete jungle. New York's at the top. This is what happens when you reclaim the transport space. This used to be a railway, it's now a High Line park. And it's what we can reclaim too when we don't need to use our roads for car storage. And remember I mentioned houses won't need garages anymore? Well, if you already have one, you'll have to find something else to do with it. This is my plan. That applies to public parking too. If we're going to consider a parking building, for instance, it needs to be designed and built primarily as something else that just temporarily will be used for 10 or 20 years for parking. One of the things the Indicative Master Plan I notice recognises is that Queenstown is an experiential town. There's nothing better for creating a lousy experience than bad traffic, lousy parking. How many of you thought twice, or how many people are not here because driving into Queenstown during rush hour just wasn't worth it? TASC can eliminate this negative experience. Right now we're addicts. We're addicted to our private cars even though we know they're bad for us. Bad for our community, bad for the planet. But we're users anyway, addicted to them like junkie to heroin. So far it's easy to see that the Master Plan offers us methadone, a good tool to help us break our addiction. But our vision should not end with us as methadone addicts. We, all of us, need to recognise the difference between a stepping stone and the final destination that we ourselves need to keep working towards. Even though TASC might sound like science fiction, it's on us to make sure that our 30-year vision is in step with what will be science fact by 2050.